We made our way through the dark tunnel, armed with a flashlight that did not light nearly as much as we would have liked it. The tunnel led us to a massive open cave filled with sounds of rushing water. A path led from the crag of rock we were standing on through the water to the center island. From there, 3 paths in 3 different directions could be discerned. Each path seemed to lead to the same spot. However, a dimly lit, brick-laden hallway. Puck suspected it was probably the way forward. What makes you say that? A sign. Look. Oh. So there was. It even had an arrow pointing towards the hallway. The message, though, is that blood? It smells like rust. Just might be. Ugh. It's awful. It is, but practically speaking, means someone else was here. Someone had to write that sign, even tried to mimic the matron's symbol. Maybe they left it to find help. Maybe they left it to help future surveyors. Maybe they were losing their mind in the process, or maybe there's some kind of meaning to it, or fuck, I don't know. That's all I got. All it was good fiction shit. I'm not looking forward to getting my shoes wet. Me neither. We gotta go though. Keep your guard up. And I will do just that. I nodded and followed Pucks. When he reached the water's edge, I noticed something. Hey, Pucks. Look there. I think it's another journal or something. Pinned against the smaller rock near the edge was a thick book soaking in water. The binding was miraculously still intact, though many pages seemed to have drifted off or broken down completely. Why should I care? Well, we could learn more about this place with the journal we found earlier. It's a waste of time. The last one we found wasn't useful. We'll never know until we look. That could have directions to the Room of Paradise for all we know. I highly doubt it, but fine if you insist. I don't think anything will be legible, though. Look at it. Shit's soaked. Well, if it's not, I'll toss it back in. I picked up the wet book and let it drain a little. I carefully opened it, thumbing through the pages gently and carefully. The pages desperately wished to fall apart right in my fingers. After some pulling and peeling of damp pages, I found one with text that wasn't a complete smudge. It reads as follows. One must embark on the muting. The procedure can only be performed once, but it is by far the most intense and reliable way to hear her words. You must procure several materials. The first and most obvious is a blade. The older, filthier, and rustier the better. Please consult the weathering guide in the appendix if you only have access to clean and well-maintained blades. The second is a source of heat, such as a box of matches, a lighter, or a stove. The third and final object is a piece of meat that may retain heat, but it cannot be your blade. A piece of metal that may retain heat, but it cannot be your blade. It has to be the separate item entirely. A metal ruler, a metal bar, perhaps even a fire puck will work. The readability began to degrade beyond that, and so some words, even entire sentences, are missing. Once prepared, need assistance from comrade as resistive tendencies. May also need to be restrained so you do not harm whoever is assisting you. After being properly restrained, use one hand to stretch the tongue taut, a cloth, or keep grip. Using the blade, sawing motion to do not stop. Retreat will disappoint her immensely. I had to stop reading at that point. What did it say? I don't want to talk about what it said. I wish I didn't read it. We should get going. I started walking ahead into the water. What? It was your idea. Yeah, well, it was a bad one. I just want to get Lizzie, do you hear that? Huh? What did you hear? Shit. Then, right on cue, a A blobby mound of meat with a gaping hole filled its teeth with teeth at its base, but towards me from the water. Alright. It was coming at me no matter what. And with the water weighing down my legs, there was no way I was getting away fast enough. I shoved it away with both hands. It felt like I smacked a deflated basketball that was made of skin. The beast was flung back and landed in the water with a splash. Before I could even get my thoughts in order, I heard Pucks shout from behind. Fuck, one of them has my fucking leg. I turned to find Pucks with a similar pink mass sticking off his leg. The water turned immensely red as Pucks struggled. I'm coming right over. The water tried its hardest to pull me away with its white, foamy claws as I sloshed my way to Pucks. Acid burned in my legs, and pains ached in my abdomen. I had to get to Pucks. I couldn't lose another friend. I refused to let that happen again. Finally, I reached him. The bloody beast was biting down hard on Pucks' lower leg. Blood was letting out everywhere. If I didn't get it off him, he'd have his leg ripped off and eaten. I racked my brain. What could I do? I don't know what gave me the idea, but given that the creature seemed to like to hide in water, I wondered if putting it underwater might encourage it to let go. Maybe the creature would assume it successfully killed its prey. Or perhaps I just really did not want to get my hands anywhere near the creature's maw. I still do not know for sure. Pucks, I'm gonna try to push the thing on the water. Please try to hold still. Why? Just fucking trust me. Just do it. With both arms, I pushed Pucks' thigh downward quickly. The creature was submerged beneath the water's murky surface. White bubbles rose to the top. Pucks couldn't help but shake in pain, but he kept his leg beneath the water as best he could. Soon the bubbles stopped rising, and the creature let go. It's off! Pull me back! Pull me back! As quickly as I could, I helped him pull back a distance away from the creature. Are you...
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. It hurts like a bitch, but it didn't feel like it dug too deep. It doesn't have acid spit either. Okay, great, let's get out of here. Where do we go? Come on, we're going left. Right behind you. Our legs were on fire, our lungs were full of pins and needles, but we kept a good pace. The beasts weren't nearly as fast as climbing on land. There it is. We were incredibly close to the entrance tunnel. It was like we would lose them there. Our feet hit the landing, and long open hallways stretched before us. We made it! Through here! The sound of chase behind us died off. We miraculously managed to survive after like 5 attempts. A bit more, actually. I really hate it down here. Ditto. We continued down the corridor. After the cavernous tunnel we went through earlier, it was nice to be in one that was fully lit. Well lit enough that I could see where I was walking, without a flashlight anyways. There wasn't really any indication at the scale of it from the outside, so I couldn't help but be awestruck at the grand size of this place. Wow, look at this place. It's huge. What are all these big machine things for? I would guess they're water purifiers or something. Couldn't tell you why they're here there. This place is like a big hydroelectric plant. Huh? Places that generate power using water. Doesn't really help us though. Why would something like this be in the Crescipole? I still don't know how to say that, I'm sorry. Told you. I don't know. It really doesn't make any sense. Can't get a grasp of what this place is at all. Me neither. At least it seems like there's nothing dangerous here. Another terrible noise. This time one that both unsettled and annoyed in equal measure. Made my big fat mouth. Third time's the charm, I suppose. Oh shit, there's tons of them. We gotta move now. Where can we run? I scanned the room quickly. Up there's room on the second floor. Where? I can't see it from here. There's no time, we have to move now. But Trust me, you'll find it when you know it. You'll find it. Trust me, you'll find it when you're out there. How does that make any sense? We should split and swap out. Pick direction, left or right. We'll take whichever one you don't. We'll meet there, okay? Right. We'll take the right. Go on, I'll have the other way. Puck's drawn in the direction. In the other direction, calling for some creatures to follow him. Most of them seem to follow him, but I still have some trouble on my own. You've done this before, Lizzie. You can do this. Just gotta think, fast, and smart. Or just go with my gut and pray it works. I'm not entirely sure how much I've been doing I'm not entirely sure how much of which I've been doing up until now. None of this really has felt real this far. I'm running out of time. Stop talking to yourself, Lizzie. We have to act. Dodge under them. They say timing's really important, but I think that's the move. I have to wait for the thing to swoop towards me, then tuck and roll underneath it. I will be too committed to that swoop to turn around fast enough to get me. She'll give me a window to move. Just gotta wait for the right moment. Now, with the swiftness that feels foreign to my body, I tucked and rolled under the creature as it dived toward me. Its sack at its bottom, grazes in my back, but it misses me. I did it. Now's my chance. I made it to the stairwell. I can get to the second floor from here. The area is mostly empty, with a fence wall to my right and a railing to the left that overlooks the whole factory. That's when one of the creatures flaps its way toward me, getting ready to turn me into its dinner. At the end of the path, I can see a doorway leading to the room. I assume Pucks was trying to point me to. One last push, and I might be able to make it out of this alive. Dodging them. The timing's really important, but I think yeah, I did it. I should move before it gets back around. I rush inside the room. Pucks is already there. Pucks throws himself at the door, using his whole body to keep it shut against the swarm of flapping monsters behind us. Shit. What do we do? Over there, grab the bar. Over to the side, there was a long metal plank. The bar to the door. I rush over. Pucks quickly moves out of the way as I throw the bar into its slot. Pucks waits at home, keeping his push on the door to see how much the bar aids in keeping the monsters at bay. Good. Strong enough. I'll hold for a bit. He moves away from the door and hunches over, catching his breath. Holy shit. Fuck, this is insane. How many more of these fucking things are there? Who knows? It could go on forever, couldn't it? What if that was the case, Pucks? How far are we? How far in are we? Have we even gotten anywhere? Close to finding the womb of paradise? I really don't know how much more of this I can take. Me neither. Fuck, I don't know. I really don't know how far we are. There's no way to know. You know that? Silence hangs in the air for a moment. You should look around for something useful. And so, we fan out and search the room, hoping for anything that might be even a little bit useful. A weapon, medicine, notes from someone long gone, something. As I reach for a certain corner of the room, something calls out to me. An ugly buzz hanging just above the quiet, and a tingling in my arm pulling me. I follow the intuition, having nothing else to fall back on. Ew, what is this thing? It's like a meaty noodle thing? Why can't I stop my hand from reaching towards it? Before I know it, the gross lump of flesh is in my palm.
You're doing great, Lore. I can see the head. Keep pushing.
The woman with the tiny being inside of her screams.
That's good. There's her shoulders. One more push, Lore. You can do this.
It doesn't sound very reassuring. The woman with the living creature inside of her abdomen wails as she feels the sensation of being twisted and pulled from the inside out. Finally, the pressure lessens.
There she is. There she is. Your beautiful baby girl, Loretta.
The doctor holds the baby up triumphantly. The little thing squirms and wriggles and cries, covered in goop. A flesh cable extends from its stomach to underneath the sheets around the woman's legs. It's the dearest, sweetest thing Loretta has ever seen in her life. As unexpected, a bewildering sensation of love burns in her chest. It's inexplicable and foreign to her. Almost frightening. The doctor cuts the umbilical cord and admires the babe one last time.
Just look at her. Nurse?
A masked nurse comes and takes the baby from the doctor's hands, swallowing it in a towel.
Thank you, nurse. Time of delivery, 4:27 p.m.
It's almost perfect time. Then, the nurse leaves with the baby.
What are you doing? Where are you taking my baby?
Well...
Kinda cringe, you know, that skin-to-skin contact right after birth is actually insanely important. It gets that oxytocin going. Kinda cringe fail of you, doctor. Ooh. A man steps in. He's too tall. His eyes are always dark when they're not in front of a flashing camera. In the newspapers, he looked like a stoic genius. When he was out of the media's eye, though, something is deeply wrong with his skin, too. It wasn't always like that. He gives Loretta chills to her spine. She was never comfortable with the overseer and proprietor of the Nexus for the Lost and Destitute. Bizarrely, while his words are understandable, they come out in a rasp of unintelligible phonemes. This baby is gonna grow up and be the mother matron or something, right?
What for? What the fuck are you going to do with my baby? What are you talking about? What does any of that mean?
The man frowns and turns away.
Give me back my baby.
He returns his gaze to her. The darkness, where eyes were meant to be glared at her with unbridled ferocity. Child sacrifice. A classic.
If you don't give me back my baby, I'm gonna fucking kill you!
Get it, Loretta. Pop off, queen.
What the?
I keep forgetting there's voice lines.
I'm sorry, Loretta. Really.
I'm going to...
Lizzie, snap out of it. He taps me lightly on the cheek, trying to rouse me from whatever trance I was thrown into. What was that? Liz, are you alright? I saw someone, she was giving birth and... Lizzie, what are you talking about? Before I can explain. Huh? Pucks, do you feel that? What? I'm feeling... sleepy. What are you talking about? Something about that sound. It flipped a switch in me. I suddenly felt extremely exhausted. My eyes struggled to stay open. Pucks. A horrible man appears before me, as if it just grew out of the floor. He stares at me a moment, then slowly waves his hand at me while glaring, unblinking. Or maybe I'm Lizzie. Maybe Lizzie is the baby. What the fuck? Who the fuck are you? My legs start to wobble. My eyes barely staying open. I fall backwards.
Liz!
He shouted for me, it didn't matter. I fell unconscious right in the spot.
You see it all now, don't you? Where the wind blows, where the birds are flying, where the blood is screaming, where the flowers will be buzzing. Could you have done anything at all? Could you have changed the power of the compass? Who can say? Who can say? All I know is that it's waiting for you. The womb of paradise is open, calling you to come home. Will you go, Lizzie? Will you go, soul behind the glass? Be sure it's warm and inviting, wet and fast. All the children of men will return if they wanted to.
I don't like you describing the womb of paradise as being wet. Before I have time to process it, the messenger is back behind me, fiddling around again. It sounds like she's moving a cable, plugging something in. The slurping sound goes faster. This world fades again. I made them both survive. Let's get into this. Wakefulness. Again. Or 4. Technically, since this is a memory. What? Where am I? I was back in the monolith, in front of the matron's chamber. I didn't remember how I got there. Was I carried? Teleported? Was the nightmare I just went through all a bad dream? I desperately hoped for that. Hello? Is anyone there? I think so. Where did that buzzing come from? Did I hear something unlock here too? I looked to the door. Was I being instructed to go in? I resolved to check. Oh boy. This is not good. It was open. Something deep inside of me was belting out in desperation, begging, pleading with me to not step through the door. And like a fool, I did it anyways. And yet, something even grander compelled me to continue. And so, I did. Quite the decor here. My eyes struggled to truly take in the sight before me. I was in a room that was alive, living, writhing architecture that took the shape of walls and ceilings, pulsating masses that maintained rigidity, and yet desperate to wriggle like worms after the rain. Yeah, this is... What's that? Is that a story, or am I just making this up, where it's like a human chair or something? It was just like a chair made of actual flesh. Kind of giving off those kind of vibes. The room smelled of iron, pus, and excrement of a nature that I did not know and hoped to never know. I gazed upon the abominable architecture. I was unable to blink. This feels like a Junji Ito story. God, I love his work. That's when I see them. There, slumped against the wall. Am I supposed to be sitting here? Oh, there's that Puck's perch. Without their eyes. I want to scream, but my body refuses to cooperate. At first, their stillness convinced me that they were dead. They were just there, lying against the limp, mouth slack with dried spittle around the corners. And yet their chests were slowly expanding and contracting. They were breathing. I hesitate to say that they were alive, but their bodies were functional. Richard's lips were even trembling a little. He's whimpering.
My dear child,
There it goes.
you finally arrived.
That part of that was just disgusting noise, and yet I understood. The noise had come before me, come from behind me. I slowly turned, fighting my body the whole way. It knew what sat behind my back was something so dreadful that ignorance of it seemed like paradise. As I finally turned around, my eyes saw for the first time a glimpse at the true reality which existed confidently in stark contrast to my perception of it. Ugh. In front of me, at the center of the room, the flesh stood an abhorrent, towering thing of meat with horrible spindly appendages and crimson black eyes that made my soul feel puny.
Does you just slip your tongue? What feeling does the sight of your progenitor inspire inside you?
See, I had a hunch. I had a hunch. Who are you?
You know the answer to that question.
I mean, maybe. I did, actually. I just did not want to say it and make it real. You're Mother Matron, aren't you?
Correct. You always were clever.
The nightmare leans that wrinkled mass, approximating a head towards me. Its eyes squint at me, and sickly warm air flows and disappears and bursts in front of me, though from what orifice I do not know. Is it smelling me?
You reek of fear. Or confusion.
There's no mouth on the beast, but I can almost sense a smile forming somewhere in what should be its incomprehensible expressions.
And delectable terror. It's ratting round inside your soul. Run away. Run away from the horrid monster.
Close yourself into a pit of acid, raising such soul to that you escape me. Still watching.
So she's the one that's like eating all the people that have been sent down here and feeding off the fear of those who survive or something. I take tepid steps back from the thing. I clutch my hands tight together in a futile attempt to quell her trembling. What are you?
You know that answer as well, though you are unable to put it into words. Allow me. I was there when Mother and Father Darkness gave birth to the sun. I am the substance of the dark, the razors at the edge.
Both of you survive from the sunlands. So joy would be meaningless.
Your kind are quick to forget, quick to shun everything I am. I will teach you all the truth. Everywhere you turn, I will be there. Crack open your skull, and I will be there. Crawling up the walls, sucking on the milk of your misery. Until the silence comes, and all that you are has gone dark.
I would appreciate it if you didn't do that. I hated everything I was hearing, everything I was seeing, had to do something. I had to move. Get out now. I had to do something. I don't know. Gonna save there. Alright, what could I do? Surrender, nothing, or die. I mean... This is probably the best option, to be fair. I can't move. My brain and my heart are screaming out to move, but nothing happens.
What's the matter? Can't seem to move.
Yeah, you don't say. I was screaming to my body, do something, literally anything. Please, 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 can't save her, you vermin. My body begins to tremble. My legs feel like they've just become boneless jelly in fear. I fall to my knees.
So many things you would love to try. So many things you wish you tried before. Is that all you little vermin can do when grief and misery overwhelms you?
And I don't know if I got a chance to say this, but like, the voice acting in this game is really, really good so far. Well, I mean, probably right at the end, but it's been so damn good. All of these people are really talented. I struggled, screamed, pleaded with the unseen powers that could deliver me from the Mother Matron's clutches. I am begging you with all that I am, please save me, please save me, please save me. I'm trying a futile effort. No, I want to save her. You can't, not even through old saves. Please let me help her. I'm trying, man. But nothing happens. I lost myself. Lost control. Did I ever have it to begin with? I wonder. My body moves on its own. I curl into a ball, wrapping my arms tightly around my knees, trying to make myself as tiny as possible. Hot, salty tears are running down my face. My teeth are clattering.
Yes, that's right. Become what you were when you entered the world. A sniveling little babe. Fresh meat for wolves. Fresh meat for the rats. For the beasts below. Your mother saw something in you back then, you know. When you were first born. Her eyes glowed like starlight at the thought of you. She was ready to die for your sake.
Yeah, so I think Lizzie is the baby from Loretta, I think her name was. That's my guess, at least. I haven't gotten all the memories, so I don't know that much detail, but that's my current theory. Perhaps you could say it's even a game theory. I'm sorry. My mother? That's right. I've never even thought about it, but I had to have been born somehow. How did my life even start here? A pause.
Would you like to know how?
I'm guessing you killed her or something like that. Is this information I really need to know? It feels like the answer is something that I will never be able to unhear, no matter how desperately I would like to. It might be the worst thing anyone could ever say to me. But does my curiosity overwhelm my trepidation? Should I hear about how my mom died? You might as well. Unable to utter a word, I simply nod, trembling, unsure of my reasons.
I threw her to the ground and peeled the skin off her body into thin strips, layer by layer.
I retract that. It's my nose and soul.
I tore and through the valley, like the rise of peeled fruit. I tore off her nails, one by one, and then burned them in her flesh.
I don't think this is how you prepare a chicken.
I even told you. You and steal her organs. I set her heart out of her throat and swallowed it like a rotten bread.
I crushed her nails into the center of her body. The bones cracked and splintered, and marrow and blood and juices splashed all over the room. And
One of her eyes was so powerful.
then I picked you up and took you home. The pity, though, her misery tasted stale. Was it worth the effort? You always smelled delicious. Out of all my cattle, you've always had the most savory aroma.
Cattle?
Have you not realized?
Yeah, see, I'm so smart, you guys. That can't be.
You grow pastures and suffer safely all your lives until you're ripe. The best of you are sent to the crepuscule. The mid-grade dies to the beasts, and then the high grade makes its way to me. By then, you're succulent and dripping with misery and grief.
We're just here to suffer for this thing's own sick pleasure and amusement. For the hallucinations her doing too. But then, everything we were doing, what was it for? But what about the womb of paradise?
Forgive me, child, but I cannot contain my appetite any longer. I was finished.
I cried for help, but no answer. That day, my mother embraced me. An inordinate amount of time passes. I was gone from myself. Things went dark. Then things went even darker. My senses of the world were rippled in twain, ripped in twain.
High grade makes its way to me. By then, you're succulent and dripping with misery and grief.
We're just here to suffer for this thing's own sick pleasure and amusement. For the hallucinations her doing too. But then, everything we were doing, what was it for? But what about the womb of paradise?
Forgive me, child, but I cannot contain my appetite any longer. I was finished.
I cried for help, but no answer. That day, my mother embraced me. An inordinate amount of time passes. I was gone from myself. Things went dark. Then things went even darker. My senses of the world were rippled in twain, ripped in twain. And then back again, all in an instant. From the dark has come a new world, even slimier and bloodier than the one I left. A massive chamber of red flesh, marbled with fat and cartilage, illuminated faintly by a light that seems to be penetrating the membrane from the outside. The ground is puddled with saliva and stomach acid and amniotic fluid. I feel like a specter now, separate from my own body, bearing witness to a different person in a different place, suffering a horrible fate I'd wish upon no one. But the body is me, unmistakably so, standing there dumbly, staring at the bizarre place. Then, descending